Good early evening, everybody. It's Lorraine Alternative Homesteading on September 23, 2024, and it's Monday. And I am powerful, you are powerful, and we are powerful together. And they are cowards. They're cowards. They can't face you, right? And they have to drive around in groups of people, right? They're never just one person. The real enemy of the state is, hint, 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 corrupt officials and sheeple people. Sometimes it's revenge for hire by vigilantes, vendetta, somebody that has a vendetta against you, and they're vindictive and spiteful and immature. They have a very low emotional intelligence. And then they co-opt your neighbors. You know, these people, bah, bah, the sheeple people, bah. They think they're special, though, because they all drive around together and they're basically being forgiven for committing crimes against innocent people, but this is what they really are. Bah, bah, they're sheeple, they're bah, little sheeple people. What is stalking? Stalking and being stalked. Stalking is an addiction. It's an obsession and a compulsion. That's what addiction is. It's an obsession and a compulsion. They're voyeurs, and most of them are psychopaths, narcissists, personality disordered. Many of them are literally addicts, meaning that they take illegal substances and drink too much alcohol, smoke too much pot, eat too much sugar. Anyway, let's read a story. It's story time. Has your local law enforcement and their flocks of community mobs made a deal with the devil? Yes. Confessions to take back what the devil has stolen. This is by Richard Moore, USAGSA, and he wrote this on September 3rd in his Substack, 2024. So let's read this article. When David's enemies stole his family, burned his city to the ground, and left him in despair, he could have given in to defeat. But instead, he sought the Lord, took action, and recovered everything and more. This story is from 1 Samuel 30, reminds us that we too have a choice when facing injustice and oppression. We can choose to be victims, or we can stand up in faith and pursue what the enemy has stolen and claim victory. This message of recovery and restoration is critical for the millions whose lives have been impacted by systemic corruption and injustice. Government corruption under the false guise of community policing is an organized assault on citizens that destroys lives. What was once sold as a method to make communities safer has turned into a tool for oppression. Programs like the COPS program, community-oriented policing services, I call it the criminals on patrol, have been weaponized, allowing individuals to be targeted by slow-kill death squads operating across the United States in every county and in every state. These programs claim to protect, but in reality, they serve to marginalize, harass, and ruin the lives of innocent people. From false accusations to constant surveillance, gang stalking, psychological warfare, and I'll just add home break-ins, pet harm, poisonings, food tampering, clothing tampering, sabotage. These community policing programs are designed to break the human spirit, destroy livelihoods, and rob individuals of their peace, freedom, and dignity. The lives of millions are being impacted daily by these covert operations, and the oppression feels insurmountable. But there's hope. There's the promise of restoration. So there's God's word that promises that we can take back everything the enemy has stolen from us, whether it's the theft is spiritual, emotional, financial, or physical. God promises to offer a path to victory and restoration. And as you declare these confessions in faith, know that God is working behind the scenes, and whatever God means to you, okay? Fighting on your behalf, and he will restore everything that has been lost. So there are confessions of faith here. I'll just read a couple of them here. The favor of God restores everything the enemy has stolen from me. I am expecting great victories in the face of great responsibilities. Joshua 11:20. Number 3, I have found the thief, and he must restore to me 7 times what he stole. Oh, 7 is big, 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 big number. 7 is a big number, and yes, it is 7. Number 4, I am pursuing total restoration of my money, time, opportunities, health, and relationships, and I will, without fail, recover all. 1 Samuel 36-8. And if you see any little buggies around here, that's because the criminals have released more gnats in my kitchen today. They think it's funny. No weapon formed against me, my finances, health, my family, or ministry will ever prosper. Deuteronomy 28:13. God is turning my situation around right now. Romans 8:28. And number 7, I am more than a conqueror. Romans 8:3-7. And for all you women out there, remember that song, I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar? That was like really a long time ago. You might not remember it. I am woman, hear me roar. The organized corruption of community policing, quote unquote. In today's world, programs like community policing, initially designed to foster safety and cooperation, have been twisted into something far more sinister. Under the guise of protecting neighborhoods, countless innocent people have been subjected to systemic harassment, surveillance, and psychological abuse. These are not isolated incidents, but a well-organized effort to undermine the lives of individuals who are often unaware of why they're being targeted. Community or community policing has become nothing more than a modern version of slow-kill, unaliving squads slowly chipping away at the freedoms and dignity of innocent people. They are designed to destroy reputations, eliminate personal freedoms, and slowly erode every aspect of a person's life while masquerading as efforts to keep the community safer. And we all know that wherever a targeted person lives, the crime increases exponentially. But the sheriff's department never reports it. Just like here in eastern Kentucky and back in Manalapan, New Jersey, none of my police incident reports ever made it to the police blotter. When I FOIA requested them, they said NA. Not available. They're designed to destroy reputations. Every county in every state across the United States participates in this covert system, making it a nationwide scourge. For many victims, the damage is so severe it seems irreversible. Careers are destroyed without a cause. Families torn apart by relentless harassment. Individuals driven to despair by constant surveillance and intimidation. This kind of organized government corruption may be masked by official statements and paperwork, but its effects are devastating. These operations do not make communities safer. They tear them apart. They do not serve justice, but rather oppression. They are, in truth, a tool of the enemy used to destroy the lives of millions. Victory and protection through God. Despite the overwhelming forces of corruption, God promises to remain steadfast. His word assures us that no weapon formed against us will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. And for every lie spoken, every action taken against you by corrupt authorities, God stands as your protector and defender. Even when facing systemic oppression, his promises of victory are unshakable. Number 1, God is your defender. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. The Lord stands between you and your enemies. Even when it feels like the entire system is against you, God fights on your behalf. His justice will prevail. Number 2, God's angels are surrounding you. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Psalm 34:7. So in the face of danger, harassment, and fear, trust that God's angels are encamped around you, protecting you from every form of harm. Number 3, God grants you peace and security. The Lord gives strength to his people. The Lord blesses his people with peace. Psalm 29:11. When corruption tries to rob you of peace, God fills you with his supernatural peace. You are held in his hands and nothing can shake you. Number 4, victory is yours. But thanks be to God who gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Number 1 Corinthians 15:57. Regardless of how the battle looks, know that victory is already won and Jesus stands firm in your path, knowing that God has the final say. That's right. Always got the final say. The master of the universe always has the final say. Number 5, God turns all things for good. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. What the enemy meant for harm, God will turn for your good. Even in the midst of trials, he is working all things on your behalf, preparing to restore you beyond what you had before. Stand firm in faith. To every victim of corruption, injustice, and oppression, take heart. God's promises of restoration are as true today as they were in the days of David and Job. When the forces of corruption seem overwhelming, remember that God is greater than any power on earth. His justice will prevail, and he will restore everything that has been stolen from you, often giving you more than you ever thought possible. Speak victory over your life. Claim the promises of restoration and stand firm in the knowledge that God is fighting for you. Whether you have lost time, money, health, relationships, God will restore all of it. Every system of corruption, every false accusation, and every act of injustice will be overturned, and God's truth will triumph. In conclusion, in the face of government corruption disguised as community policing, which seeks to destroy lives, we can be confident that God sees everything. His justice is not bound by human systems, and his protection is available to all who call upon him. Victory, restoration, and healing are promised to those who trust in him. And as you speak these truths all over your life, know that God is working on your behalf to bring about total and complete restoration. Thank you for your support. He writes here. And I've got bugs, literally, because I have this little light on here. I've got gnats flying everywhere. I wish you could see it. But anyway, so this is an article written by Richard Moore entitled, "Has your local law enforcement and their flocks of community mobs made a deal with the devil?" Yes, they have. But in light of all that, I am powerful, you are powerful, and we are powerful together. And they're cowards. They're little go-alongs to get along. The real enemy of the state are corrupt officials and sheeple people. And they spread lies and slander about you, because basically what they're saying, it's a projection of them. So it's like when they throw trash on my property, it's because they're trash. When they rot my food, it's because they're rotten. When they tear up my clothing and destroy it, it's because they're destroyed. It's because they're angry. Every time somebody slices something, that is an act of anger. Poking, and I'll show you what they did to my sweatshirt. I'll show you what they did to my sweatshirt here. Here. All here. I posted photos on the community section. Here, they sliced this. They sliced my sleeve here. Right here. Yeah. They're envious, jealous losers. And they're three Masons. Three. They do everything in threes. 1, 2, 3. They're three Mason witches. Three Mason, the WAPs on patrol, which is the witches on patrol. The cops on patrol, the criminals on patrol. The pops on patrol, the predators on patrol. And the mops on patrol, the morons on patrol. And they are morons. They all think that they're so brilliant and smart, but they're not. Because if they were brilliant and smart, they would take a step back and realize that what they're doing is all illegal. And it doesn't matter if it's being forgiven. Because the true measure of morality and ethics is doing something when nobody else is looking, right? Doing something for the good when nobody else is looking. And knowing that you can do something horrible and get away with it and never doing it. So anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading, exposing one criminal at a time here in Eastern Kentucky. And I hope everybody's having a good night. My chickens are hopping into bed because it's getting dark outside, so I've got to get out there, lock them up so our resident fox doesn't come and get into one of the chicken coops. Signing off for now.